Hey everybody, tonight I'm going to do a pillow. So you can get just blank pillowcases. These are actually canvas ones, so they're a little more heavy duty. And then you can just fill them with pillows, or foam, however you plan to do that. This is actually the ones that Chocolate Store sells is in a 2-pack, and it's got a little zipper close. It's kind of like a hidden zipper, so that you can do that. And these fit the D size really well, as I pulled out a couple of D size transfers. And yes, I probably should have ironed these first, huh? Yeah, most likely I should have ironed those. So I'm actually going to grab out my Easy Press right here, and I'm going to hook that up. I just have it right here on the side beside me. So that'll heat up so that it will be ready when I'm ready. Okay. Essentially, Easy Press is just a really huge oven. Really huge iron. And I'm just going to iron this flat. It'll be easier when I stick the transfer on. I pulled out 2 family related transfers, so I've got my ink mat underneath it, kind of holds it in place when I'm doing it. And then I've got these transfers. So there's like the Family Rules one. So this is called, yep, Family Rules. And then there's a little family heart with a family on it. So Family Love. So I've got 2 different ones. And so these are actually like 17.5 by 17.5. So they fit it perfect, like right to the edge. So we're going to see how that turns out. Just going to be careful when I line it up to make sure that it covers it completely. And so as you see, the heart one, that's definitely not going to be hard. It's got plenty of room around the edge for it. This one is just the family one, is right up to the edge. So I'll just be careful when I do the edges to make sure I get them nice and well. There's a couple little strings on the edge. Not a big deal. Just like from packing. I'll toss those away while my iron's heating up. And I'm actually, because I'm going to iron these, I don't leave my craft mat underneath it because it has started to warp it before. Because it's not an ironing board. It's just a craft board. And had I thought this out a little bit more, I would have done it before I turned on my live. So I'll just iron these to get these started. And then tonight we'll be making 2 pillows. This is not fully done, but just want to get it so it's ironing out. So as you can see, this is just essentially a huge flat iron. I don't know why they don't make regular irons like this, because this makes things so easy. And I've just got my little fuzz mat cleaning cloth underneath, just trying to get out the basic wrinkles so that when I put my transfer on, I don't have this big huge wrinkle, because it was folded in the package and I just took it out of the package. I didn't think too much ahead, I guess. And I didn't even wait for this to heat all the way up. So usually I'll heat set at 350, but I like to let things I do with ink sit for 24 hours before I actually go in and heat set them. I like them to dry naturally and not like force them dry. You can. It's just a personal preference. So tomorrow night I'll heat set these and I'll put the pillows in them so you guys can see the whole thing. Alright, so this one's nice and flat. And while I got this out, I'll do the other one. If you get an Easy Presses come in all different sizes. This is a 9x9 one. There's one that's a mini that's like this. It's like this big. It's really small, but it's perfect for like hats and shoes and little things like that. This one, the biggest one, I think is 13 by 13. This is perfect for t-shirt size, and you know, I just move it, wiggle it around. You can just let it sit there for like 30 seconds on each section. And I do sometimes. I don't know. I can't sit still, so this just like keeps me occupied, I guess. Right. Just make sure I get as many little creases out as I can. It's not going to be perfect, but the transfer's sticky, so it'll stick right down onto it. So I don't have to worry about that. Right. So I'll put this back down here, and I will turn my Easy Press off. This is warm. Let's see, this one over here is already essentially cooled down. So, and I didn't, I see a little moisture on my, there's a little moisture from heating this up. I'm just gonna put it over the edge there and get it out of the way. All right, so the canvas is thick, much thicker than a normal pillowcase. You know, they're meant more or less for like throw pillows. And where's my little zipper? Okay, the zipper's nice and hidden. But it zips down the side so you can easily stuff it. It's nice and thick, so likely my ink is not going to soak through it. I'm not going to have to worry about that. But I am going to put my ink mat on underneath. You can use simply a piece of cardboard. It doesn't have to be officially an ink mat. The ink mat is just like, if you know what a Cricut mat is like, so it's sticky. It's got a clear cover over it to help keep the stickiness. So I put it underneath and smooth this down on it to help keep it nice and level, so when I'm putting the ink across, it doesn't like move the transfer or bleed or like, you know, look like the ink smeared or anything. And there's two different ways you can do this. You can like just shove it in there, which is what I'm going to do. Or you could actually, like, I could turn the pillow inside out, put this on it, and go from there. I haven't done with a pillow before. And this fits pretty much perfectly. Like, it's going to fit in there. See, as you can see, it's going to fit inside the pillow perfect. So I'm going to try to be careful when I put it in, because it's really sticky. It's sticking to my fingers right now. So I've got to get it in there and get it in a corner. And I'll take it out and clean it off when I get done. If any ink goes through the canvas, it stays on the ink mat. I'm just going to make sure I try to get it nice and level, because I don't want any bubbles or creases when I'm doing it. So, put it in there. Get it all the way down there. It's going to be a tight fit. It is going to be a tight, tight fit. But I've got it in there. Now I'm just going to smooth this down. Try to have like not any wrinkles in it. And it's sticky, so I just keep pulling it until I get it nice and flat. Hopefully you can see this well. I've got the camera backwards tonight, so I can actually see it on there without having to have my camera going. So even though there's a little bit of wrinkles on it, that's not going to be a big deal. I'm going to grab, this is the one I love the most. It's going to go right to the edge. So I'm going to do this one first. Actually, this is probably just going to do the one tonight, because then I got to take the thing out, clean it, let it dry. I do have other ink mats, but I just do like one project maybe. Alright, so again, this is called Family Rules. There's all different ones that have, some are very wordy, lots of words together. Some are images, some are like the heart with the family on it. You can use, you don't have to use the big size transfer on it. You can use the smaller size transfer. I could do the lemonade one in here, or you could do different combinations, or I could just put out, I could pick like just love, family rules. I could do just certain words. I have got a whole bunch of ink, so I'm going to go a little ink crazy and use nice lots of ink. And of course, I got my other squeegee, but I love the angled squeegee. I see you, Alice, the gray cat. It's not usually in here. Alice isn't usually in here, but she is. And see, I guess I want, do I want the zipper on the top, the bottom? I guess I'll just leave the zipper on the bottom. Since I'm putting this on cloth, it is a rough surface. I am not going to fuzz it. Only fuzz if you're doing a smooth surface. So, but I will label this just in case. Oh, I need to be better about that. This is Family Rules. So you can pretty much put any of the designs on a pillow. And I do make my own custom transfers. So you can basically customize anything, which is nice, especially if you have like a name that's not very common. Right, so I'm just going to try to get this right to the tippy top, because you're not going to see much of a pillow along the edge afterwards. I'm just going to start smoothing it down. Starting at one side and working my way down across. Oops. And it's going to be a little tricky on the ends because this is where I've got the zipper and stuff, so I'm just going to be super careful when I'm doing the very bottom. I'll save that for last. So I'll start at the top and work my way down. Let me get my little water bucket out of the way, that I'm not tempted to accidentally knock it over. Right, so put that down there. All right, time to grab out some colors. Let's see what we got. So I do have shimmers, and so this is canvas color, so I want to get some bright stuff. Let's see, I've got Couture Coral, Couture Teal, Tide. What else? What else is bright? Candy Apple. Papaya is an orangish color. Here's Fig. Mauvelous. I don't know if I want to do Mauvelous or not. That looks a little light. I want the colors to be bold and stand out. Got Cadet. And, of course, here's Current Jam, which is like a maroon color. And I can do lighter colors on it. And here's green. And my purple, which is the Regal. And I got, that's it. Alright. I just grabbed out a ton of colors. I even have my bark. So I'll grab that out. So I just grabbed out, I don't have very many left in here. I have all the ink colors. There's not as many ink colors as chalk, but as you can see, it's a lot. So I'll do the family rules in my Current Jam, and then I have to bring in blue somewhere. Gotta have green. So those are pretty standard colors. Probably should have red. I'm not sure about the bark. Got the purple. And there isn't an orange in ink. Papaya is the closest that we have. So I gotta put a little orange there. And I'll slide these over for now. I'm going to use the option to add them in afterwards if I want. But right now I've got 6 bold colors. And I'm going to need squeegees. I'll definitely use the mini squeegee for the smaller letters and the angled squeegee. Honestly, I could just mix the colors together. And I might do that for some of them, but not for all of them. So, we'll start out. I guess if I added yellow, it basically would be a rainbow. But I'm going to start out with my Current Jam in orange. And I'm turning it sideways because I'm already. And it's just my preference. I'm going to work my way down. The bottom, as you can see, because of that zipper, is curled up a little bit. So I'm going to be like holding it down when I do it. I'm going to do it anywhere along the edge. I'm going to be super careful. You can also take painter's tape and just tape it on the edge and fold it back. Then it's super secure. I'm not overly concerned with it myself, but right. So where's my little stir stick? As you can see, the ink it's not watery, but compared to the paste, it's not as thick. So it spreads thinner, it stays wetter longer, and gives you more time to play with it. So I'm going to start out with my little squeegees to do my family rules. I guess I'm kind of turning it all the way around. Right, so ink you want to do not as thick as chalk paste. You want to put it on and take it right off right away. The longer you let it sit on there, the more it's going to soak in, and then it may look uneven, like some areas are darker than others. So I'm just going to do it one little letter at a time. I'm actually going to take it down to the bathroom to clean it. What I do when I do ones this big, what I had done the other night, was I take the towel and I lay it down on the bathroom floor, and then I get down on my hands and knees with the eraser, and then I start cleaning it. So first I soak it in water in the bathroom sink, and then I go ahead and put it down, clean it. Then I use my spray bottle to put more water on it until I get it nice and clean. So the one I did the other night, which was, did I do the My Rules? So yeah, the My Rules and the fishing one, that's how I clean those ones up. When I did the one for the flowers in the book in the front window, that had tons and tons of dark purple on it. I was able to get it basically all off. Very minimal of it stained. I just went over it with water. So, right across with the family rules. It's easier to do multiple colors with ink because the ink stays litter longer. If anybody signs on, they can see hi. They can kind of see it. And I know the letters are looking backwards to you guys. Sorry about that. I will turn it around at the end so you can see it. And I will post a finished picture so you can get a good look at it. Because I'm on the F on the end, I'm going to be extra careful. Remember, ink, if you go over the edge with ink, it is permanent. You'd have to try to get it off immediately. And even then, it may not be possible to save. But the good thing is you have other ink and you can always cover it up. Or you can do like some people do and put a little butterfly on it. I think I'll do the love in this as well. So I'm going to keep that out so I can reuse it. So I'll do the love in the maroon color. That'll be my red. And then I will actually do some... Another thing about ink is make sure you have a wet wipe. Something to wipe your hands off. Because anything I touch with ink on my fingers, ink is permanent. So it's always good to do that. And then, of course, the wet wipe is wet, so I gotta clean it off. Alright, so here we go with, make sure I don't have any globs on there. And I don't have to worry about it drying as fast as the others. So now, let's do a little papaya. Oop. It does sometimes stick to the lid, and I just scoop it off. Just like you do with food. Scoop it off, put it back in the jar. And, okay. Now I guess, I think that was good to start with, but I'm going to be standing up for the rest of this pretty much. And I'm just going to do little sayings in different colors. So this is the have patience. Just making sure I hit the letters. And I could actually be using my half cut mini squeegee for this one or my multi-tool. And I already started to get a little orange on those letters there. Have patience, always tell the truth. So, I'm just going to keep switching my colors around. This is my Regal. Looks like a little bit of air bubbles in there, but so I'm going to be careful when I put it on. I'm making sure I'm hitting it nice and even across. Going in one direction with ink is usually best, unless that you're going to accidentally slide the transfer around. So I skipped how to tell the truth. I'm going to pop around a little bit. So this is the have courage. And the squeegee is pretty big to be using on this little area. I need to clean my fingers again. I'm going to grab one of my little, so because they're silicone, I just took some minis and I cut them in half, so it gives me a smaller one to deal with, which is good for getting in the little small letters or designs on anything. And And I think I take my time more on the ink stuff. I don't know if that's because it's permanent or I'm just trying to make sure I get things on evenly. But honestly, I think I would prefer the ink. I mean, it's so easy to make t-shirts. Okay, so you gotta have courage. And that a little. I can't believe I stuck my finger in the jar. Okay, so do your best. Now I can upgrade back to the larger squeegee, the larger letters. So as you can see, doing a messy technique on one like this is pretty good because, I mean, if I were to do a messy technique, it spreads it on really fast. You don't have to worry about the letters so much. Just got to get it on there evenly. And when I go to pull it up at the end, once I get all the letters done, I will be pulling it up slowly because then I can take a look and see is there anything that the ink didn't hit that well or I want to get a little darker, anything along those lines. Right, so there's a little more purple. So we've got the Always Tell the Truth, and I think I'm going to do that in green. This green will stick out a little bit more. Yeah, nice and messy. It's good to keep your fingers clean. Okay, so you guys are... Oh, I can see people out there. I mean, I can't see people, but I can see people watching. Right, so I'm going to scoop up a little green to do the Always Tell the Truth. Remember, if any ink touches, dark will overpower the lighter color. And just scrape off any excess ink. I'm trying to make sure I don't hit my colors together. But yeah, it happens. Let's a little mixture there. Alright. And yeah, I'm just jumping around. It is much easier just to stick with one color or maybe one or two colors. It's just not my wheelhouse. I have to use lots of colors. Or some kind of effect. I get bored very easily. Very easily. So there's a couple more greens. Do a little bit more orange with the Forgive When It Is Hard. So I do have a little bit of an air bubble there in my transfer. I'm just trying to be careful with it. And my colors are overlapping. When my squeegee's putting the ink down, it is pushing a little bit, so I already know my colors are mixing a little bit. Alright. I found my fingers. I need another wipe soon. Right. So, the only color I'm getting out now that I haven't used yet is the blue. And after I do a few more, I might pull it up a little to see how it's setting. Okay, this blue is new. It is Cadet. I think the first time I went to buy them and stuff, it was sold out. The other I already used the whole thing. Don't worry, I have a ton more squeegees. Nice and messy. Paper towel will work with ink. It's just that it's not going to get it all off your fingers. So it's just better to err on the side of caution so that you aren't dealing with a mess that you're trying to fix after the fact. All right. So I'm going to just say please and thank you in the blue. You can see a little bit of air bubble in the fake, so that's why I'm trying to like push it down as I go. Help smooth the little transfer along at the same time. Alright, a couple more colors there. Alright, so I'm gonna grab Sharon Orange. Could have also done a shaded effect, so like started it with say a dark blue and just kept lightening it, making it lighter as I go along until it gets down to like a white. See if I got any mixed colors in there. Try not to mix my colors in the jar. Right. Big love in the middle. So depending on what your theme is, like if you have black and white furniture, or that's what you like, just do it in black and white. You can actually dye these pillowcases. So you can dye it, it's made of just a canvas tan color, but you can dye it any color you want. I have not done that yet. I bought dye, but I haven't actually done it yet. I've never actually dyed something myself. So once I get done the love and the couple of letters, words over to the side, the smile and the laugh out loud, I'm going to pull the transfer up and take a look at it. You can still see it's nice and wet, but just as a precaution. If it was paste, I would have already pulled it up by now, because that dries much quicker. See, my fingers are super pinky. Okay. Guess I need a little purple. Smiling purple. Super messy. Alright, it's time to get a new Clorox wipe out. This I'm going to do the laugh out loud. And since I love orange, I'll do the laugh out loud in the orange. You can see it's starting to come up a little bit, so try to smooth it down with my fingers before I put anything on there. So as you're doing the squeegee along it, anything where there's an air bubble, you're just pushing it. That's why it's good to go like in one direction, or start from the top, work your way down to the bottom. Then you're kind of like filtering any kind of air bubble, you're pushing it through the whole thing until you get to the bottom. And I already know there's bumps in the bottom because of where the zipper is, and it's not completely flat. Just because this transfer is so huge on the edge, I'm going right to the edge of the pillow. Alright, so pull up the top and see how it looks. I'm going to gently set it back down afterwards, but getting little bubbles down here, so let's see. So far, so good. You guys see that okay? And I'll show you a close-up after, like where I started to hit the colors next to each other. I kind of like it. Maybe on the bottom I'll mix the colors up a little bit more. Right. So this is pretty much down to the bottom. You can see that. I'm going to gently set it back. Not going to push it down, just gently setting it down. Getting a new Clorox wipe for my bottom part. There's lots of little bubbles in the bottom, so it's not going to be. It just makes it a little more complicated. If I'd done one color, I'd been done a while ago. Alright. When I do the other heart one, I'll probably just do one color. But because of this, I'm going to go ahead and lift up. I can see the bubbles at the bottom that I've pushed through. So I'm just lifting it up, putting it right back down, smoothing it. And sticking my finger in the ink when I'm doing it. Yeah. Alright. Smooth you over. Try to get out as many bubbles as I can. Without getting ink everywhere. Alright. So, take turns. I haven't used a lot of, I've not used a lot of this glue, so I'm going to do the take turns in glue. If anybody has a color that they love, they think I should add, or if there's any lines at the bottom that you think are more important than others you want to stand out, you can even do it in black, I guess. Right. Got that one. Right, keep your promises, try new things, be yourself, live simply. Be grateful, use kind words, always say I love you. All these sweet little things. I'll do try new things. As you can see from the thing I did last night, I was on like 7 minutes. I did a whole project and cleaned it up. When you do multiple colors, you're stretching it out, but need a green. I haven't done green in a little while, so I'm going to do keep your promises in green. Starting at one side and working my way over. It helped when I just cleared those air bubbles out, so I probably should have done that sooner. Yeah, it's alright. I'll show you where the colors kind of blended, but I mean it's good, like a trial and error, and I'll say, oh, I like that, so next time I do something I will do that. Sometimes an accident can turn out better than you were originally planning. Right, so keep your promises. And I did forget that I told my nephew I would make him a flag. So I did order flags, but he wanted me to put something specific on the flag. I don't know, they love hanging flags up on stuff. They've got their own little buildings outside with down south. Weights I got them for Christmas, they put in one. They work on their four-wheelers, dirt bikes, all that stuff from the other. Logan's doing welding, so he's into all of that stuff. Actually, I think he goes to the welding class. I don't think he's actually in welding because he's not a high enough grade level yet or something. Which seems kind of silly, but he says he helps the teacher because he already knew how to weld stuff from all the stuff that they worked on at home. Okay, live simply. I guess in the end I don't have too many maroon. I guess I'm probably gravitating towards the orange more because I just like orange. Hence the Halloween themed stuff that I have throughout my house. And you will see me starting to make some baby stuff for somebody. So I'll do lots of little things like that. I've got cute little Twinkle Twinkle plus the sun and the moon and all that stuff. So we'll see. I'll be making some baby stuff for somebody who just told me they're going to have a little boy. Yeah. Trying to get the orange as close to the green as possible without mixing the colors. Again, you don't have to be this detailed. You can put it on one color or two colors. You can get transfer that's much simpler. So when I do the other family one, you'll see that's super simple. Okay, so some orange. So I believe I'm done with my orange. So I've got purple. Yeah, I'm done with my orange. So I'm gonna try to throw things in my my water bucket as I'm picking up things, making still a mess of myself. Be yourself. So I think I'll do the Be Grateful, because I only have a couple, I've only got 2 in maroon so far. So I think I'll do the Be Yourself in maroon. And then I'm also going to do the Be Grateful down here in maroon. Just going to be a little bit more, and I can see a little bit of an air bubble in there, so I'm going to be extra careful, trying not to hit it. That's it for my maroon. Right, so I've got Use Kind Words and Always Say I Love You are the last 2 left. And I've got blue, green, and purple left. So I'm definitely using a purple. And should I use blue or green? Anybody? Anybody? Blue or green? Quick, quick. What color should I use? So I've got 2 left. I need to use the purple because I haven't used that. And then I think I'll do the Always Say I Love You in the blue, which means I will throw my green in the bucket. I think I'm just closing my ink jar. Oh, it's one of those. Okay, so to break it up, all you do Use Kind Words in purple. I'm almost done. And then you guys won't watch me clean this because I'm taking it downstairs to the bathroom. One of these times I'll show you how I clean these big ones in the bathroom. Maybe I'll just do like a little cleaning episode. Tricks to clean the big transfers. The first time I ever cleaned a big transfer with ink on it, I had it in a ball. It was hilarious. Honestly, I was like, oh crap, I just ruined my transfer. I didn't, because you put water on it and it loosens the transfer up and you unstick it. But I was like, oh my god. Because it was my nice Paris transfer, which, it's my nice Paris transfer. But I loved that I did if you look back and see, like, one of the first ink projects I did was the lamp. And I've got other lampshades I can do. So a lampshade is like something cute you can do. Lampshades are expensive. Could not believe how expensive they were. It's like, geez, it's much cheaper just to buy a lamp than it is to buy like a lampshade. Right, so this is, I'm right on the edge with this one. As you can see, I'm curving it up a little bit just because the end curves because it's got that zipper underneath it. Not really a way for me to avoid that unless I could have skipped and just not done this last line, but I'm not going to do that. The ink mat underneath is helping hold it steady. That's the difference between an ink mat and a piece of cardboard. The cardboard obviously can move around pretty easily. But as soon as I finish this, I will pull it up so we can see the whole end result. And I'm getting kind of close to the edge. And I can see as I'm putting it down, like if I see light canvas underneath it, because the canvas is lighter than the ink, if it didn't cover it or not. The little ink goes a long way. You can chalk on material and stuff like this, especially canvases and banners. I prefer ink. So even if you have like the burlap board, I prefer ink on it. I think the ink goes on smoother, you use less of it, you can control it more, but you can use chalk on it. Chalk on a pillowcase, you're not going to be able to wash it because that's gonna hurt the image. That's why if it's something that especially if you want to wash, like I'll be washing this pillowcase and stuff, I don't want to use chalk. I want to use something that's permanent. And I'm going to heat set it even afterwards. So I'll go ahead and pull this up. So that's the top part that I had. The bottom sticking a little bit more because I hadn't pulled it up yet. Alright, so the nice thing about the stickies is that I can kind of stick it on the edge of my table here until I'm ready to wash it. Still getting ink on me. So let me swing this around so I can show you guys a couple little things on it. I'm going to let it dry overnight, and then I will get it tomorrow. So I'm noticing a couple little things. So here you can see where I got my orange with my purple. There's different ways I can do it. I can leave it like it is, which is what I probably will do. But tomorrow what I'll do is I'll look at it when it's dry and say, okay, if I want, I can take my little paintbrush and I can take the ink and I can go over the orange so that it just shows purple. May or may not do that. Undecided. The only other thing, two things that I didn't see, the try me or try new things, the little teeny tiny bottom of the letters didn't quite hit. And then at the very bottom, because of the bubble, this always say yes is a little messed up. But once it dries, I will fix it with my little paint brushes. Let's grab one and show you what I got. So you can use really any kind, and I just get like the little cheap ones, honestly. So this is a little bit of clump of stuff on here. I'm just taking the ink that's on it right now because it was a little clump from the bubble and just smoothing it down. This is just a pillowcase for me. I'm not super concerned if it's not perfect to the T. And once I stuff this pillow, you're probably not even going to see half of those letters at the bottom anyways. So just spreading that ink out nice and flat, which I knew there would be a little difficulty at the bottom anyways. Easy to fill in. Got a little touch of my white here. And even with the new things, this is actually a little squeegee brush. Kind of neat. But if I were to take a little bit of the ink off here, I can easily fix my little new things with it. Because it is essentially a teeny tiny squeegee. Squeegee that's designed like a paintbrush. And it's to fix little things like this. When your little corners and everything. So I will try to fix as much as I can tonight while it's wet. I do still have some clumps down here, so I'm just going to steal them from there to fix this up here. And I'll let it dry for a good 24 hours. Tomorrow night I'll heat set it. It'll be dry. The thicker the material, the longer it's going to take to dry. So if you do t-shirts, some t-shirts will take longer to dry than others, just because they're thicker. So like a t-shirt's going to dry quicker than a sweatshirt. A hat's going to dry quicker than a t-shirt. A little hand cloth is going to dry quicker than all of them. So, oops. Alright, so do I see any other areas that need to be fixed? Nope. I'm just throwing my And my water bucket, the squeegee, just got a little on it. I'm just going to use the Clorox wipe to clean that up. But this comes in a little toolkit of 4 different things. One is a big brush. So we've got, I don't have the big brush in here. But there's a little brush like this. There's one that's much bigger. Plus this, and then you get this, which is like a little eraser. So I can actually like go over things and erase it. So, I think I'm going to grab another little brush with my purple so I can fix the help others. Kind of just like painting. I'll just stick it in there. And I'm just going over the orange, if you can see the orange. So the orange overlapped on the purple. I'm just going to go ahead and fix, adding a little purple to the top of it to kind of like mask that I went over it. This is just a throw pillow for myself. Or likely a family member who wants it, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. And tomorrow night I'll be able to look at it again to see if there's any area that shines through. And purple is, if I was trying to cover up purple with orange, it'd be a lot harder because the orange is so much lighter than the purple, but the darker color always will outweigh the lighter color. Just putting a little on here, and then I'll hold it up to kind of show you what I did. So if you can kind of see, I fixed most of the letters except for the very end, the RS. You see a little bit of the orange at the bottom of the R and S. I'm just going to fix those up. Put a little dab of ink on them. And see if I missed any other areas. That's good. So now I'll hold it back up so you can see that I covered it up. Just with a little paintbrush with the ink. I could have laid the transfer back down and gone over it again. It's so big, I don't want to do that. I didn't want to do that. I'm just going to throw my brush in my water bucket and I'll clean it with the other stuff. So now all I need to do is take out the ink mat underneath. Because I don't want my ink mat to sit there and be like not sticky when I pull it out. So this is nice and thick. As I'm pulling it up, I can see on the inside the ink did not go through the ink mat because this is a nice thick canvas pillow. So I'm just picking it up so I can pull it out. My hand's sticking to it. So even though it's like that, my hand's sticking to it. Alright, so folding it over. Blindly. Trying to yank it. Okay. Alright. So I let my pillow sit out overnight to dry. And I'm going to take my big transfer down. And all you do to clean the ink mat is I just take a Clorox wipe it off, and a little piece of cloth with a pillow on it. As you can see, it's still really sticky. My fingers are sticking to it. I just noticed my transfer fell over without the ink on it, so I've got to get that downstairs to get it clean. Anybody have any questions? I'm going to spin this around. I'll spin the camera around at the end so you can see the pillow. And I just let this sit out to dry. I cleaned it off. There's no ink showing on here because it didn't go through, but as a precaution, I keep it clean. So I'm going to collect this. You can see the pillow. And you can see that okay. And sneak around this way so I can spin the camera around. Spin you around here, and where's the little flip thing? There we go. Okay, so you can see there's the pillow. It's like 17.5 by 17.5. See that there? I'll take a picture of the whole thing and post that separately so you can get a good look at it. And I'm going to sign off for the night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow night.